Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. The first message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? I am a South African woman. I am crying. I'm shedding tears as I am speaking with you. I just lost my last child that I had. I only had 2 kids. So I lost my child. This was 2 years ago in December. Then this year, I lost another child, all because of this other girl that was working for me, who was a Zimbabwean girl. So this is what happened. Before this woman had started working for me, I was just working as a nurse, and my husband was also working in the government. We had a good life. So my mom, she had another house which was in RDP, but we never used it. She only had some people that were staying there. Most people that were staying there, they were from outside of the country, like from Mozambique. So my mom then told me that there was another Somalian guy who had came to her, who wanted to open a Spaza shop at that house, and the rent was okay. We then agreed, and then we built a room which used to be a garage. Then we just extended that room so that the Somalian guy can have his Spaza shop. So that is what used to happen. My mother then passed away. Soon after my mom had passed away, then there was an operation that happened in that location, and what was supposed to happen was that all foreigners that had Spaza shops, they were supposed to move and to go and open their Spaza shops somewhere, not in our location. So that was the agreement that was there. So then me and my husband, we then took it upon ourselves to run that Spaza shop, but it was not an easy thing to do. I tell you, it was not easy because you do not know where to buy some of this food that is cheap. It was very expensive because you would see that maybe per day, like per item, sometimes you can even make as little as 50 cents profit, and you put in a lot of money and you do not get so much money in return. And if anything goes bad, then it means that it is already a loss that you are making there. So the girl that was working for me, we were not paying her as much as well, because this girl, she knew that the Spaza shop was still starting, and we explained it to her that when the Spaza shop is growing, we would try to give her more money. She then returned to her country and she came back. When she came back, then we were struggling, and we told her that if she knew anyone who wanted to run the Spaza shop, then it was fine. She could assist us in finding one who could give us money so that we can just sell the stock to them and they start to pay us rent. She then said, why don't you just go to a prophet so that a prophet can assist you instead of you throwing away this stock and the Spaza shop, because you are not going to get as much as you invested. So we said, okay, do you know anyone? This was after I had spoken with my husband, and he was very interested. And besides, at work, my husband used to say that there are other people that he suspects that they use charms on him. So he just wanted to know, like, when you have never gone to someone that can tell you what has happened in your life, all the bad things, so that they can tell you that in order to fix the mess that is in your life, you have to do ABC. So you would be curious to go there. Me and my husband, we then followed this woman. We went to another township where we found that the prophet that came from Zimbabwe, he told us that he can help you in whatever way that you want to be assisted, whether you want to be helped by that prophet as a traditional healer or just a prophet. So we decided that we just speak with the ancestors directly. So after that man, he had taken us into the consultation room, then he started to tell us that even at my workplace, there were other people that hated me, that wanted me to die because they just did not like me and my husband as well. His own supervisor, he was someone that was using charms. In fact, he used charms for him to get that job. That was why my husband did not have strength in bed, because that man, he had a tokoloshi, and this tokoloshi would sleep with my husband. So we were given some charms that we were supposed to bath with. From the day that we started bathing with those charms, we wanted more, and we were given some cooking oil. This cooking oil, what we were supposed to do with it was, in the morning before me and my husband could leave for work, I would wake up around 5:30 early in the morning. Then I would take a mop and a bucket. I will then take that cooking oil and I will pour some into the water, no soap, nothing. Then I'll start to mop inside the Spaza shop. Then I would go outside and check if there is anyone that is watching me. Then I will sprinkle some water where the person would be standing when they are buying or just looking into the Spaza shop. I will sprinkle with water. We started to make money. One day when we returned back from work, we saw our worker. She came with the money. It was 7K in one day. We were like, hey, 7K one day, it is impossible. And this was the beginning. Everyone in the location, someone would even walk for more than 2 kilometers, walking past other Spaza shop, just coming to our Spaza so that they can buy bread and they can go back. So as for this bread that people would come and buy, we ended up even buying the whole truck. If a truck would come with the bread, they know that they would just drop all of that bread in our Spaza shop. We even extended the Spaza shop to make it look more like a little supermarket because the customers were too much. So what we started to do was that same oil, we would put it in water, and if they would deliver bread, like today, let's say they deliver 100 loaves of bread, we would not sell them on that day. We would sell it the next day, even though if it was not fresh. But the people, they loved to come and buy at our shop. They thought that this was the best bread. So at night, even that girl used to assist us. We would take the bread. This we would do it when we were indoors. We would take some black refuse bags, 2 of them, then we would put the bread inside there. Then we would take that plastic bag and we would dip it into the water, just to dip, not for it to get wet, and then we would put it out. So because we would place the bread inside the refuse bags, they would not get wet, it would be dry. So this would attract customers to come and buy. And we made money for a year. We even bought a bakkie because of our Spaza shop. Our maid, we started to give her more money. And then my husband, he started to have a dream. He would be in the forest hunting wild animals, and then he would stab a wild animal. And when he would go to see the animal that he would have stabbed, he would see that it is our son. So these dreams, they kept on bothering him, but he never told me that he was having these dreams. Then our son got so sick. When our son got sick, we went to that prophet, the traditional healer. We told him that this was what was happening. My husband was then given a knife, and he was told that we were supposed to return back with the knife. When we returned back to our house with the knife, at night, my husband was supposed to go outside, whilst he was not wearing anything, like naked in the middle of the night, and take a bucket that was full of water, and he was supposed to pour the water on the ground, not on the pavement, but directly on the ground, so that he can stab the knife into the earth when the place is wet. My husband did so. I was waiting for him not far from where he was. My husband panicked, and I asked him what was wrong. He then told me that after he had stabbed that place where he had put the water, then he saw that the whole place, it started to look like there was blood that was coming out of the earth, as if he had stabbed a person, and the place was very soft. The next morning when we woke up, we saw that there was a little river of blood that was flowing. We covered everything with some soil. We actually took river sand that we had and we put more than 3 wheelbarrows of river sand so that the blood cannot be seen anymore and it stopped flowing. We went to work. My son was sick and the maid was looking after our son. When I was at work, that was when I received a phone call. My heart was beating so fast just before I had picked up that call. I knew that there was something that was wrong. That was when I heard that this was my maid. I asked my maid what was wrong. My maid then told me that my son was not okay. My son was in a terrible condition and she wanted me to come back home. I then returned back home and I saw that my son was in a terrible state, and then I started to call my husband. I was unable to reach him. We then went to the hospital with my son. My son never recovered. Just when my husband arrived at the hospital, that was when my son passed away. He did not see my son whilst he was still alive. So we thought that this was just an accident that had happened, but my husband kept on asking himself, why was it that when we were given that knife, then our son passed away? Then the other child that I had also passed away. This was after we made money. In 1 month, when we looked at the books, we saw that we had made more than 200K in the Spaza shop. And when we said we have made 200K, that was when we had our maid screaming in her room. We then rushed there and we said, what is wrong? What is wrong? And we saw that our child was busy bleeding from the eyes. There was blood that was coming from the eyes. And this was after my husband had told me that he had a dream, and this dream that he once had, it was a dream of him removing the eyes of an animal, but it was a rabbit that he had caught in the wild. So he tried to catch it, and when it ran away from him, he got so mad that this rabbit had ran away from him. When he caught that rabbit, he then started to remove the eyes of that rabbit using his own hands because he was angry for chasing down that rabbit. That is how our child passed away. There was blood that was flowing out of the eyes. So this is how we got to know, Brother Nashi, that me and my husband, we were given charms that not only give you good luck, but they are charms that will force you to sacrifice your own children so that your business can be successful. Me and my husband, we have money. We have been thinking about opening a supermarket in town, a small supermarket. Then we can move, and hopefully if we get money, we can get into the franchise, maybe Pick n Pay or a ShopRite, because things are going well in our lives, but we don't have children anymore. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Let us try to speak with our dear sister in the comment section. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Can you imagine? Name. Then there is another message that was sent to me by one of our listener. It was a screenshot. If you know, there is this other story of children that were found in the boot of this other Mercedes-Benz in Zim. It seemed as if those children, they were used in a ritual. Then one of our listeners sent me a screenshot saying that there are other kids as well, a child that had gone missing, and they had been trying to look for that child. And this child, what the child is saying is that when she was picked up by other women who were in this other car when she was going to school, and they told her to jump into that car, she got in there and they went with her to a ritualist. And when they went with her there, they wanted body parts. And then those women, they were told that this is not the child that we want. She is the wrong one. Go and look for another one. That is how she survived. And this girl had been missing. So that is another story that one of our listeners sent a screenshot to me. Please always be careful. It seems as if this thing of people harvesting body parts, it is still happening. Poverty will push people into doing these money rituals. There was also another story of a man also murdered his neighbor's child because there was a businessman who told him to harvest body parts and bring those body parts to him. So wherever you are, make sure that your child is with you. If you are at work, if you have a maid, make sure that your maid always make sure where the kids are, and make sure that your kids always play indoors in the yard without roaming around, because people are evil out there. Then there is another message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. The message, it reads like this: hello brother Nanshi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? My name is Sharon and I am a Zimbabwean woman who is currently staying here in South Africa. I need advice. I have this other man who is a South African. This man, he is a friend of ours, so we stay in the same gated community. This man, he has recently started doing tenders, and you can see that everything is working out for him and his wife. They recently bought 2 cars. I can't tell you the model of those cars, just in case if people that know me will hear this story. So I am a good friend with the wife. I am always at their place, and I feel like I am attracted to this man. I have him in my hands. If I want, I can have him, because I am a witch, and my husband does not know that I am a witch. So I have been thinking about it. Should I go ahead with this? It is something that is still in my heart. I have not yet told my friends, because my friends, with the way that they are possessed by the demons of witchcraft, they will even assist me without me knowing. They can even go and possess that man so that he can start to lust after me. Therefore, I have not yet said this. When we do our meetings as witches, whenever we meet, we do have these meetings at night. So I have not yet told them that this is what I have been thinking about. My husband, he is someone that does not have an ambition. Like, he is lazy in his mind. He has no ambition whatsoever. I have tried to encourage him to at least start a business, even home, but he's okay because he is a professional. He has a salary, but I want a man that has money. I am tired of trying to calculate each and every little cent that we use when we want to go out for dinner. We start by taking out all of these calculators, then we calculate if we are not going to get broke before the end of the month. I want a man who can spoil me. I want a man that can just take money from his bank and give me. So I know that people that do tenders, they have money that never runs dry. So I just want advice. If I do this, I know that they won't be turning back. I'll end up getting married to this man if I use love potions on him. I am trying to look out for myself. Is it a bad thing to do? Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Let us try to speak with our dear sister in the comment section. Please do not do that. He is not your husband and you are already married. Do not do something so evil against your own friend. Surprisingly, this woman, she is saying that her friend is a prayerful woman, but how come she does not even know that this is what is happening? She is letting a witch to get into her home. How is it even possible? Why can't she have a revelation? Tell me what you think in the comment section.